One of my all-time favorite people ever was the crocodile hunter, Steve Irwin. When I was a kid, the show The Crocodile Hunter was the show I watched nearly every night before I went to bed. His enthusiasm and love for animals was truly inspiring to me. Always in his trademark khaki shorts and shirt, he had no problem tangling with deadly snakes, showing fans crazy spiders, and of course wrestling crocodiles. He was always saying things like, "Crikey, look at that beauty." I absolutely loved it. His death was devastating for me, and for all of his fans, not only because it was incredibly sad, but because we knew the world lost someone with a huge heart, and someone who would do anything to protect what he cared about. I'm going to talk a little bit about his life, his show, his death, and his legacy. Steve Irwin was born on February 22nd, 1962, in Essendon, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Part wildlife expert and part entertainer, Irwin became world famous for his TV series The Crocodile Hunter, among other nature programs. While he had no scientific degree, he grew up studying and caring for animals at his parents' wildlife park, which is now known as the Australia Zoo. Steve met his future wife Terry, who was in Australia on vacation in 1991. The couple later married and spent part of their honeymoon filming crocodiles. This footage became the first episode of the Australian TV show The Crocodile Hunter, which was picked up by the American cable network Animal Planet a few years later. The Crocodile Hunter aired 64 episodes during 5 seasons from 1997 to 2004, with a pilot episode in 1996, and 13 specials into 2007, and was one of the most popular shows of that time. His last adventure was on September 4th, 2006. Steve was filming a new program off the coast of Port Douglas in Queensland, Australia. Snorkeling near a stingray, he was pierced in the chest by its barb, which hit his heart. He died of cardiac arrest shortly after being stung. Stunned by the news of his sudden death, people around the world mourned his passing. Many left flowers and notes at the Australia Zoo, which he and his wife ran, taking over for his parents. Steve is survived by his wife and 2 children, his son Robert and his daughter Bindi. He treasured every opportunity to share his love for wildlife with his children. He instilled in them the need to treat every living being with kindness. Steve was incredibly proud of his children, and often said if he was to be remembered for anything, he hoped it was to be for being a good dad. His passionate family continued to strive to achieve all the goals Steve had hoped to attain. Today, Terry, Robert, and Bindi own and operate the Australia Zoo and its wildlife hospital. They recently helped rescue 90,000 animals, including those falling victim to the recent wildfire devastation in Australia. The raging fires, which burned over 12 million acres of land, about twice the size of Vermont, is believed to have killed nearly 500 million animals since the start of Australia's bushfire season last September. Luckily, there are people out there, like the Irwins, that try to protect as much of the wildlife as they can. In conclusion, Steve Irwin grew up loving animals, and with his wife, Terry, did all he could to show people through his show the beauty in the dangerous animals out there. And although his death was extremely tragic, he died doing what he loved. He was an incredibly inspiring man, and I, for one, will forever miss him. His legacy lives on through his family.